me. In this video, I am going to show you how to utilize your graphic styles and libraries to make your workflow much more efficient and faster. Graphic styles are the attributes applied to an object. It would be the fill, the stroke, maybe some other details and things about that you use repeatedly, which in pattern making there are a lot of symbols and types of lines that you will use repeatedly. And rather than having to go reset those attributes every time you draw lines, it's great to open up a panel and just click on the type of attributes you want to apply to certain object and lines in your patterns. It makes the work go much faster. So let's see where graphic styles are found. There is a panel over here on the right hand side. It looks like this little icon, and if you hover your cursor over the top, you can read that. If you happen to not see that, up here at the very top of your screen under the window, you can click and scroll down. It's in alphabetical order, and click on graphic styles, and that little menu pops out. There are some default styles in here. We actually do not need all of those, so I'm going to show you that you can remove them. We can't remove the default one, which is solid white, fill, black stroke at one point, but I can click on the next one down and hold my shift key down and click the last one in the line or in the list. And I can go ahead and toss those away. We won't be using them. Next time you open up Illustrator, those will all return. That's fine. Now then, on my screen here, I do already have some line segments drawn. They all have the attributes of a 1 point stroke in black and a nothing fill. That's what I want to start with. But I actually am going to change these each to a little something different, and then I'm going to show you how to put them into your graphic style panel over there. We will keep one of these at 1 point, nothing fill. Right down here is a plus, a button at the bottom of the panel. I can double click on that and I can, name this. It will be a 1 point stroke no fill. How about that? There we go. Now I can click on my second line and I'm going to take that up to 2 points. For the stroke weight, click that, double click the name of it, and it is going to be a 2 point stroke no fill. Prefer to actually work with no fill in my objects. I could create one with a white fill if I want one. All right, my next one, I'm actually going to do a little bit of changes here using my stroke menu. Again, that is found on the right hand side. If you do not see the little icon, go under your windows at the top of the screen, scroll down to stroke and open it. In this case, I'm going to make the weight of that line 2 points, and I'm going to add arrow points, arrowheads, to the beginning and the end of the line. I also want to scale them. In my case, I'm going to go 75%. You can go whatever amount you want, and that is a great line for grain line. You got it. All right, so back to my graphic styles. That object is still selected with the new attributes, and I will hit the plus sign, double click the name, and label it grain line. Now I have one more line here, and I'm going to go back to my stroke box. I think I will take it up to 2 points on the weight, and I'm going to make it a dashed line. There we go. Let's just click away to see that. 12, it defaults 12 points for the length of the dash and 12 points for the length of the gap. I think I like that, so I am going to go ahead and keep that one. Go over here to my graphic styles. Now in order to add it, I need to make sure it is the selected one on screen. And click that, double click it, and this is going to be my stitching line. There we go. And one more here. So I'm going to grab my line segment tool and draw a line here. You'll notice that the attributes applied to it were the last setup one that I had been on, had clicked. So I do actually want to change this a little bit. I want to keep it a dashed line, but I think I'm going to go with maybe a longer dash and a shorter gap. And let's see what that looks like. Actually, I want to make it even something more than that. There we go. You know what? I'm also going to turn down the weight on it. I want it to look definitely much different than my stitch line. I can also adjust the dash and gap again, and then it will redo the sequencing of that, so you can alternate with different lengths, and I like that one there. So with that one highlighted, back to my graphic styles, I'm going to add it to it, and I'm going to make this a fold line. So these are some great ones to start out with for your patterns that you'll be making in this class. Now that we've got those made, we've loaded them into our graphic styles over here. Let's add them to our library so that every time you open Illustrator and want to start working, you don't have to go back and recreate all of these. Right down here in the lower left is the libraries menu. And with the ones that you have added to this, you can save your graphic styles. When I click on that, it will open it up right here for me, and I can call this pattern markings if that's what I want to name it. Whatever you want to name it, that you will remember that these are for your pattern making. And I would click save. Now you will actually click save. Right here in this video I'm going to hit cancel because I actually have already defined one called pattern markings. So after you have saved it, anytime you want to reopen it, I can go down here to user defined, click on pattern markings, and then there it pops up. They will all be in here. Mine just are in the thumbnails. If you'd like to see it as a list up here in your options little menu at the right hand side of every panel, you can manage that. So I could go to a list as well if I wanted to know what the names of those are. They might be slightly different from the ones I just showed you today, but the ones I showed you today are the perfect ones to use. So anytime that I have a line, and let me just put it back to default here. Here's my new line. I'm going to click on it and change it. There we go, to a grain line. Once I have used it out of my user defined panel, it will add it back into my working one here. So I do have one up there, but if I needed to get those working, I can close that there, and then on this one the double arrows collapses that and clears up my artboard space. But that is how you can change attributes, load them into your graphic styles menu panel, utilize those, and you'll see that how you would use those in the different patterns in further videos in this course, and then how you can save it into your libraries and access them. Thank you for joining me, and good luck.